Right, 16 December 2024, and today I am very excited to be giving you this morning's update, and this is going to be one of the most important updates that you're going to see, and we're going to be talking about this in 2025. Nelson Chamisa in 2023 disappeared from the public or the public space. So I spent the whole of December last year looking for Nelson Chamisa. Where is Chamisa? Has Chamisa been taken? And that is what I was doing last year in December, looking for Chamisa. And now in 2024, we have seen the emergence of Nelson Chamisa. And Chamisa has come out with some very important revelations. So today I'm going to unpack what Chamisa did this week and what he's going to do very, very soon. This is going to be one of the most important broadcasts, as I said, that you're going to look back at and say, is Gambakwe a prophet? Profita Gambakwe or Baba Gambakwe. So let me take you to what happened. So Nelson Chamisa had a dinner, and this dinner was very interesting. There were a lot of people who came to support him on the charity event. So you can see here the young ladies. You can also see Takesure Zamar Ncube. You can see the crowd. That is the crowd that was there. Very well done. I don't know who did this deco, but this is some of the most beautiful deco I've ever seen in Zimbabwe. So most people in Zimbabwe don't do good deco. But look at this guy. I do not know who did this deco, but if you know him, give him my numbers so that I can promote him. He is very good, or she is very good, whoever did this deco. And Nelson Chamisa looking very good. I always look at Nelson Chamisa very closely. Like when it's Mnangagwa, I spend like 1 hour looking at him. Chamisa, I only spend 5 minutes and I get what I need. So look at Chamisa. Chamisa is looking very well. He has lost weight. I think he's working out. Do you guys agree that Chamisa has lost weight and he's looking very, very nice, very smart. And whoever did his posters and stuff did a very good job. This looked more like a church event rather than a political event. So I think most of you agree with me that Chamisa is looking more and more like a political leader, like a religious leader than a political leader. And I'm going to show you also what he did. Chamisa put out a video yesterday, and this video is very interesting. So let us play this video. I'll play it again, but because of copyright, I'm going to play a little snippet so that you can see what I'm talking about. Right. So it's clear to me, and I think it's clear to you, that Nelson Chamisa is more and more looking like a religious leader than a political leader. So let me take you to two more clips of interest. So here is the leadership team. That is what we call the high table. So when you talk of the high table, you're talking of the highest people in a group. So there is Nelson Chamisa there. There is my Chamisa on the left. However, on the right is the most important man ever next to Chamisa. This man is the advisor of Nelson Chamisa, Dr. Shumba, over there. I think most of you have never seen him, but I like this guy. He is one of my favorite guys, Dr. Shumba. He's been close to Chamisa for a very, very long time, and he is very humble. So whenever I call him, he always picks my phone, and he's never a guy that will betray Chamisa. So anyone you see on this table is not going to betray Nelson Chamisa. You can see Dr. Mugano over there, and you can see Mkoma Naoma Glass right behind Chamisa. Mkoma Naoma Glass, Uyo. Check him out. I don't know this guy, but I can tell you that right now, ZANU-PF is going to be looking for him, trying to find out if they can bribe him. But clearly, the guys in front here are very close to Nelson Chamisa. This is the leadership team, the political leadership team that you're watching. So I can say to you, if you look at Dr. Shumba here, he's going to play a very important role. You can see here, Dr. Mugano is going to play a very important role within whatever Nelson Chamisa is going to launch, and he's going to launch very, very soon. Let me show you what I think he's going to launch. So look at Dr. Mugano's cap here. So that cap is written, God is in it. God is in it, and it's white. Nelson Chamisa has posted on his Twitter the same shirt and cap. So the question is this the launch, or was this what they gave for the charity? So that is the question that went through my mind. Is Nelson Chamisa saying that is what they are going to call their party, or is this what they gave you if we're at the event? So I don't know. Remember, I had not got the event. I did not go for obvious reasons. My commander, they will catch me. Do you know that, like, even when I'm working here in South Africa, I have a few of those guys around me. Crazy stuff. How much budget you spend on a journalist or someone who just does YouTube? So let's go some more. Let me give you more pictures. I want to look at this crowd here. So these guys are lawyers, top lawyers from Zimbabwe have come out, and we also have people from South Africa who came out. And if I'm not mistaken, there's Chibaya out there. That looks like Chibaya. I don't know. But what I can tell is that Dubeko, not there. Mkoma G, not there. And Ostalos, I don't see Ostalos on the high table here. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I do not see Ostalos on the high table. So this is what I think. So I now want to summarize for you guys. Nelson Chamisa is creating a new thing, and he said this new thing is not going to come now. And I explained to you when I saw people putting out posters that this is not Nelson Chamisa. I don't think it's him. If you want to see what Nelson Chamisa is saying, it's very easy. You go on your WhatsApp and you click WhatsApp, and then you go on updates. You click the words written updates, then you look for Nelson Chamisa channel. So when I want to see what Chamisa is saying, I don't go anywhere else. The Chamisa news channel, which has got 50,000 followers, you go there, and everything that Chamisa wants to say is going to put there, including the video that I just played for you now. You can go on and see it over there, including everything that Chamisa is doing. He just updates over there. So let me explain to you what I think is happening. I think Nelson Chamisa is forming a political party. He's going to form a political party, but it's not going to be a traditional political party. He's going to base it on religious formations or religious churches or pastors. There's going to be a lot of pastors in it. This was clear to me when I looked here. There were a lot of pastors coming from different places. The organizers were mostly pastors, and pastors rarely move away from their leader. When you see pastors moving away from their leader, they are now rogue, and pastors can control their congregations. So the pastors are like chiefs. So a pastor can tell the congregation, all of you come here, and they'll come. Or all of you vote here, they'll vote. So from a strategy point of view, I think Nelson Chamisa has got the right strategy. He wants people who are going to fall under a structure, but that structure won't be political. It will be more of a religious structure. So look forward to more of the religious structure from Nelson Chamisa and less to the political structure. However, these two guys here are going to play a key role. And I think you can also see that Advocate Thabani Mpofu is not here. I was expecting him to be very prominent as a person close to Nelson Chamisa. And also, remember, there was that rumor in the past that he was going to be the vice president of Chamisa's party. We get information from many different people. And he even made a statement. He stepped down from his work, and we thought that he was getting ready to become Chamisa's vice. But it's clear to me that these two guys here are going to be very key in whatever Nelson Chamisa is going to form, especially Professor Mugano. Professor Mugano, very smart guy. He knows what he's talking about. And economically, whatever economic framework he's going to come up with is going to be successful. I've got no doubt about it. And then from a relationship point of view, I think Dr. Shumba is going to do very, very well. He's got massive relationships with so many people. I suspect that when I was arrested in Zambia, someone made a call, because what happened in Zambia was very strange. I was just sitting in the back of a truck, and then someone just walked and said to the guys, release this guy. So I just walked out. I was shocked. They were shocked. Someone made a call for me to be released when I was arrested in Zambia. I hope it's not you, Dr. Shumba, who made that call, but someone did make a call for me to get released when I was in Zambia. So now let's summarize what I'm saying here. What do I think about Chamisa? So you guys know that I do have a lot of admiration for Nelson Chamisa. I think he's a very popular leader. But what do I think about his approach? And I want to be clear, so you can take this to the bank. 16 December 2024, take this to the bank. Nelson Chamisa is delaying for a reason. So he's stalling. The reason why Nelson Chamisa doesn't want to move now is he understands the time. So you must understand the time. What is the time? The time right now is not the time for political parties. The time we are going to is the time of the military. So I've said this to you guys so many times. The next thing that we're going to see before we have a political change in Zimbabwe is a transitional system. There is no way Zimbabwe is going to go from Mnangagwa to Chamisa. So there is a transition that is coming. And that transition is 10 years. So I've said to you guys so many times, there is going to be a 10 years of transition. That is 2025 to 2035. You're going to have a transition. And during that time, Nelson Chamisa is going to play a prominent role. But the guys who are going to be in charge will be the military guys between now and 2035. I know that this is very difficult for you to hear. But I want you guys to understand that that's where we're going. Mnangagwa has destroyed all the systems. So we need a period of building. And that period is coming. That is why you see Chamisa pulling back and allowing things to play out. So he's going to allow things to play out, but his popularity is not going to go away. However, I have this feeling that something is going to happen in between in these 10 years, and that thing that is going to happen is going to create a new system of leadership. You are going to see a new system of leadership, and we are going to have someone new arising or coming up. So we're going to have a new type of leader who is going to come up, and that new type of leader might be someone different. So watch what I'm saying here very, very carefully. And I'm not saying this lightly. You are going to see something very different, like what has happened in Mozambique. In Mozambique, there was a system. Then a new person came out from Norway. So Venanzio Mondlane was not the most popular person. He came out of Norway and he gave the young people what they want. And what do the young people want in Zimbabwe? Young people in Zimbabwe, they want a new thing. They want a movement from this current system where there's an opposition this side and a ruling party this side. Young people want one country, and Zimbabwe is going to become one country. I'm so happy that Nelson Chamisa is so aligned to what I'm always saying here. Zimbabwe, the country with the most potential. Zimbabwe is going to be the most powerful country in Africa very, very soon, because geographically, the only country which, if you connect properly, you have one of the biggest and best countries. So Chamisa said a lot. and I'll share with you guys the link. Chamisa is very, very clear on a lot of things. And I hope that many of you have watched his speech. I think his speech can be found on Arts and So TV. So they did upload the speech there because they couldn't get the video. They had a recording. So you can go and see the recording over there. Nelson Chamisa doing very, very well. But clearly, understanding the time and the two guys that are going to play a prominent role are here on his own timeline. Nelson Chamisa posted these guys on his timeline. So these photos are from Nelson Chamisa's timeline. I did not pick them from anywhere else. Unfortunately, for the guys who are in the blue movement, I do not think they're going to play a prominent role here, especially the guys that you know. So it's going to be, I don't know, a new, when I need to adjust. So you can see that my hair is out. Dueko is out. Ostalos is out. They are there, but they're not the ones that are going to be in charge. So you've got a new system that is going to come up with Chamisa, but look forward to it much later, not now. Chamisa won't be able to, for example, do a rally with Professor Mugano. So Professor Mugano is not a rally guy. Dr. Shumba is not a rally guy. So how do you go to the people? That is very important. And now we will go to Venanzio. How does Venanzio go to the people? Every night, Venanzio does a live, which is watched by thousands and thousands of Mozambicans. At one point, Venanzio had 1 million people on his Facebook live. Live, people watching live, 1 million people. That was crazy. So Nelson Chamisa now has to find a new way of going to the people. That is what we call go to market. And I understand people like Dr. Shumba are masters on this kind of things. Going to market is different from policy making or strategy making. So if Dr. Mugano here, Professor Mugano is a strategist, who is the go-to-market guy, who's going to show you how to go to the people, who told Venanzio what to do, because Venanzio has totally destroyed a whole system by himself, single-handedly. Remember, Venanzio is independent. He's an independent candidate. Yet a go-to-market. How is Chamisa going to go to market so that he bypasses all these guys who are waiting to infiltrate him? So that is very, very important. And I know that I've spent so much time on these guys. And I want to send this to the raw areas. I know most of the guys are in the raw areas. So I'm going to have to bring it to an end now because we're sending this to the raw areas to all the people that view us from Kumusha right now. And there are thousands of them in the villages who listen to what we say here on a daily basis. So amazing stuff. Nelson Chamisa raising millions and millions of dollars yesterday on his charity dinner. He raised a lot of money. People flew to see Nelson Chamisa. It is amazing, and I like what Chamisa has done. So now let's go to some news. I want to quickly look at the burial of Mphoko. What a shame. So Mnangagwa was in Bulawayo. And guys, when I tell you stuff here, you must listen very carefully. Because this man has refused and told Mnangagwa not to come to his funeral. Mphoko was that kind of a guy. He also told his son, Skokokrela, not to come to his funeral. So he's that kind of guy. He was that kind of guy who could tell you, don't come to my funeral if I die. So he did tell Mnangagwa not to come to his funeral. Mnangagwa was in Bulawayo. He was in fact with Dr. Nyati, that is the founder of the Harvest House International Church, the biggest church in Zimbabwe. Mnangagwa opened this church yesterday. What an amazing building these guys have built. The biggest church in Zimbabwe was built, and Bishop Colin Nyati said that this process started 16 years ago of building the biggest church in Zimbabwe. An amazing church that is complete with a gym, restaurants, a music school, an auditorium, a conference center, and all sorts of amazing amenities in Bulawayo. And this church was built by the people. However, the people that spoke at this function were amazing. So I think there is a church in Harare that is got a very popular pastor who was there. And that pastor in Mnangagwa don't see eye to eye. And he stood on the stage and started to speak about vision. And I could see Mnangagwa cringing when he was told about vision. So go check it out. It was amazing. And I also put it out. I'm getting a little bit busy because it's obviously Christmas time and I'm moving around a lot. So sometimes I don't get time to sit down and give you guys the snippets that I want to give you. But the thing is, the time we're getting into, Mnangagwa is no longer someone who is feared. So let me tell you guys what is happening. No one fears Mnangagwa. No one anywhere is afraid of Mnangagwa. So the people around Mnangagwa, they can see that this man has got no plan. He knows he does not have a plan, and people are not afraid of Mnangagwa. It's just a matter of time. And I've given you 2 weeks to the 27th of December. Something very big is going to happen. But clearly, people are giving the message to Mnangagwa that this country has got so much potential, it can do so well. And what this pastor has done, this bishop has done, it's unbelievable. Long back, we used to know with Makandwa. So Makandwa's people called me yesterday and say, Kavako, when they say Bishop Kolinyati is the best church, I can assure you that this is the biggest church in Zimbabwe right now. And this includes meeting and a celebration center and all those churches. And this is a community project. This was done by the community. So it's clear that we are capable of doing so much. What we lack in Zimbabwe is connection. Things are not connected. So this church, to get here, it will take you 2 days. What you want is a connection between Harare and Bulawayo. So that if I want to go to church at this church, I jump into a train and I'm there within 2 hours. It's possible. Because if you can travel at 800, what is the fastest train I went into in Netherlands? I think it was 350 kilometers an hour. And this train goes to Germany, UK, and also. This is what we need in Zimbabwe. You only need a train that goes 200 kilometers an hour. Then you're in Bulawayo in 2 hours. Which means if I leave Harare at 6 a.m., I should be in Bulawayo at 8 a.m. and attend the church, Bishop Kolinyati. And then I jump in the train and I go to Victoria Falls. I'm there in 2 hours. I stay in Victoria Falls until 3 a.m. or 3 p.m. I jump back into the train and I go back to Harare and I'm there by 6. So the connection in our country, and Chamisa did this, said this very clearly. The country is going to be totally different, and this is going to happen very, very soon. So I think it's clear. Mnangagwa can see it. He understands what's happening. Mnangagwa arikuuraya vanhu nenzara. So we are all waiting for the day when Mnangagwa leaves. That is the problem that we have now. Like everyone has just stopped and they're waiting. When is Mnangagwa going to leave? Then things can start moving. But it's clear that Mnangagwa himself has failed. He's got no plan and he's not going to be able to do anything to improve the economy of Zimbabwe. Now let's do some news. I've got very little news today. I want to start here with this man, Bishop Overseer Chinema of Zayoja has been fired by the bishops of Zayoja for having extramarital affairs with the different women in the church. So he's impregnated 2 women, and Zayoja is now Sodom and Gomorrah of Zimbabwe. This church was founded on principles. It was one of the churches that broke out from the AFM in Zimbabwe, and they did very well. Unfortunately, the system in Zayoja is a system of money. So from the bottom, they contribute certain amounts of money to the top. So they are like a pyramid scheme. And once you contribute your amount, you've got the protection of the top. So Bishop Chinema has been involved, or Overseer Chinema has been involved in many extramarital affairs. He has also been involved in stealing of money, and they have fired him and asked him to return the GD6 and move out from the house at Bindura. So you can see This bishop is sweating, right? So if you see yourself, so guys, let me tell you this for you guys. Do you see that I'm talking to you now? Do you see me sweating? Sorry, the network seems to have gone. Maybe Bishop Nema and the Gansel. I'm saying, do you see me sweating right now? So what used to happen 5 years ago is when I talk to you now, you'll be seeing sweat dripping on my sides and inside my shirt it will be sweating. So this is obviously doesn't happen anymore to me. And the reason is clear. I've taken certain steps. And if you see yourself, which is sweater like this, which tower, over stage, you need to fix something. So next year, we're going to have a men's clinic where we're going to help you guys to deal with such issues. It's not normal for a person to sweat when they're talking. But that's beside the point. I apologize for getting sidetracked. But if you see yourself sweating, doing anything, find a problem which you need to address. So on top of being fired, this man will still have to go and get treated. Probably only high blood pressure or one of those things that you need to be for. Then let's go to the Zimbabwe Army head office. So a big fire has broken out at the Zimbabwe military headquarters, which is the KG6. This fire was reported because every single building in there was burnt. So that is what we call a baptism of fire. So vakapiswa, I don't know if they're burning it or it just burned by itself. But my belief is that a lot of things are going to happen. These next 2 weeks, we're going to be back at the Heroes Acre. So you can take this to the bank. Before the end of this year, which is 31 December 2024, we're going to be back at the Heroes Acre and we're going to have a big thing. There is a big spiritual thing moving in Zimbabwe. What they did when they went to the Great Zimbabwe, they raised certain spirits at the Great Zimbabwe. When they tried to do a ritual at the Great Zimbabwe, they did something bad. And you're going to see a big move against Mnangagwa and his central, his core team. There's going to be a big move. Anyone who was at the Great Zimbabwe is going to face one of the biggest backlashes. And most of the people, I showed you the picture, most of the people in that picture who are sitting in that tent won't be there by the end of 2025. That place, you don't do what Mnangagwa tried to do in the Great Zimbabwe. So that fire broke out in the morning. It burned everything. All the buildings in the admin section have been burnt. And unfortunately, you won't see the military pictures. I'm waiting for certain guys to send me pictures and I'll share them with you. But what happened there was unbelievable. It was almost a total destruction of the military head office of Zimbabwe, including all the manual records. You know that the Zimbabwe military is not online. So most of the work that they've done has been banned. I hope that they have not lost all their computers over there, because that is also possible. Then in entertainment, this young lady is called Kim of the Spicy Angels. She has been sentenced to 4 months in jail. So Kim was sentenced for the picture you see on the left with that guy there. She was on stage and she performed some acts on him. The video is openly available online. If that's your kind of thing, if you want to see it. And I feel sorry for these young ladies because it's clear to me that they are poor, they've got poverty. Guys, you don't need to do what she's doing to make money. I don't know how much money she makes, but this kind of thing in public, it means there's a big problem in Zimbabwe. Financially, our young ladies are having to do terrible things to get money. And this is very bad. Unfortunately, it's very bad what is happening here. So this situation is not new. It happens every weekend. They do this, and I think the owners of the club, they're the ones to blame. They should not arrest the young man or the young woman. They should arrest the owner of the club. Unfortunately, this is very, very sad. And unfortunately, in my work, in my line of work, I have to watch every video. So every morning when I come here, I'm up, let's say 2 a.m. I have to know everything that's happening in the country, including watching such videos and also trying to analyze and understand what is happening around the country. Then obviously, UMC Reverend Christopher Chukore has died. This is a big story. And UMC has lost quite a number of pastors over the past few months. Now, let's look at what's happening in the Chronicle newspaper. I know that the Chronicle newspaper is one of my... I like that newspaper because they bring something different from Harare newspapers. So let's see what they've produced. And you know that South African newspapers are not publishing from today. Most of them have closed. So in other countries, maybe this is not normal. But in South Africa, they do close. So newspapers close between now and December because the number of people buying in Gauteng is very low. And most of the people in Gauteng go home. So South Africa is such that many people don't come from Johannesburg or Pretoria. They come from KZN or from Limpopo and they go away. So the newspapers, they do close. Right, so the Chronicle newspaper is the same story that I'm showing you. Harvest House unveils stunning architecture marvel. This building is amazing. 10,500 people inside this building. So I would like to thank all of you for watching. Now let's look at the comments and quickly recap. Good morning, Ngoma Peter. And then sorry, Adeline says Chamisa is always weak. Chamisa is what? I don't think so. Okay, let me tell you what is going to happen. So Adeline, because you've said this, let me tell you what is going to happen. When you start something, you normally don't finish it. So I want you guys to understand this. This is in business. This is what we call change agents. When you're a change agent, you normally don't see the change. So what Chamisa has done is he has become a change agent. He has made everything easy. Tendai BT was a change agent. All those people were change agents. Most of them won't see the change. Who's going to see the change? Someone that you don't know is going to see that change. And then Andrew says, "Come up with any clue about KG6 Barracks?" Yes, I've mentioned it. I'll send you the pictures soon. I'm waiting for guys to come up with some pictures. You are no longer, you're no longer sweating because of Mve. No. Okay, let me explain to you guys why I'm no longer sweating. So one day I was talking here, and you guys write comments here. And a guy called me and said, "Gambako, you're breathless. And something's wrong with you, you must call me." So obviously, like any human being, if someone criticizes you, you feel like that guy is attacking me. But it's not true. So I did call the guy, and he told me, "No, you need to fix certain things." And I went to the program. That is the program that I'm going to take most of you guys next year. And two things which you should never sweat when you're doing: preaching and when you're in bed with your wife. If you find yourself sweating during those two times, that's the most dangerous time for you to sweat. You're not supposed to be sweating at all. Honestly, guys, zero sweat. Like, they should be. When you're walking in town and you see yourself sweating, that's a sign of sickness. So for a man to, when you sweat profusely, that's a sign of sickness, and it will eventually lead you to death. Don't do it. Do something about it. And Mve works. Mve works. Most of the guys who have bought Mve from us, that is a cure for many, many diseases. Your muscles will grow. So like I said to you, this is your muscle. It doesn't have to be like huge. It must just, when you grab something, you must feel good. Yeah, I'm holding something like a Simba. And most guys, when they're holding something, their hand is light, their bone is light. So that is what you need for things like Move and the program that I'm going to put you guys on. You need the Move for that. And as I said, our sponsors, that is their numbers. You can call here. We're going to be able to send you, for the guys in South Africa, we've got the strongest version this week, out this week. And in Bulawayo, Harare, you can get it almost immediately. That is overnight. Right, guys, I want to bring this to an end. Let me see if there's anything else. What will Chamisa be doing during the 10 years of transition period? Will he be part of that government? Mugama Davis, I'm very happy you asked this question. So let me tell you what is going to happen according to my prediction. So I don't want to make it look like I'm prophet. The biggest problem we have is that currently there are no systems. Everything's collapsed. Corruption has become the order of the day. So everyone in Zimbabwe right now is corrupt, including 99% of the guys who are watching me. If you give you a chance, you'll be corrupt. So we need to create a new space, an isolated space, where things happen without corruption, where a new economy is going to start. That is, firstly, the connections between places. Secondly, a new currency. Thirdly, a new way of doing things. That is a system. And that needs a transition. And you're going to see that maybe there'll be a false start. Someone might even jump in to office, but they'll never solve the problem in Zimbabwe. So the military is eventually going to come in. The military is the only structure in Zimbabwe that is able to do what needs to be done, which is to create a new system, to create a new transition, and to put in place a foundation for the country. So my prediction is that Chamisa is eventually going to be included in that structure. So whatever structure is coming, Chamisa is going to be in it, but he will not lead it. So that structure is going to be led by some form of committee. So you're going to see a form of committee leading Zimbabwe for 10 years. And Chamisa is going to stay popular if he is still there by 2035. So here the word that I've said here, 2035. What is going to happen to lead to a transition is not easy. It's going to be a fight. So there's no one who just wakes up one day and says, let's go into transition. So Chamisa is going to be, during that transition phase, it depends on what happens to Chamisa. Is he going to stay in Zimbabwe or is he going to stay outside? So that is the answer for you, Davis. Because the transition is not going to be, we wake up and say, let's have a transition. There's going to be something leading up to that transition. And whatever that is when, that will determine what Chamisa does. Because Chamisa might have to leave the country during this period leading up to the transition. Because the transition is not nice. Look what's happened in Syria. That is the transition. So there is going to be a shift of balance of power. So there must be a shift. That is why I'm saying to you, the military guys are going to play a very big part leading up to 2035. And then between 2035 and 2040, you're going to have elections leading up to a democratic government in 2040. Look at what is happening in Mozambique. How many months now have they been fighting? Do you know what is coming after this? That's a transition. But Venanzio may not see that period. Did you hear what I just said? Venanzio might not see that period. That is why Venanzio had to leave the country. There is no one who's going to give you power in Zimbabwe, in Mozambique, in South Africa. Those three countries, the most powerful countries in this region is Mozambique, Zimbabwe, and South Africa. Because they've got the biggest potential of becoming first world countries. So when we have first world countries in Africa, it's going to be Mozambique, Zimbabwe, and South Africa. Angola is already going up north. They're not going to be interested in what's happening down here. Eventually, they will even leave this SADC if they have their way. You might find Angola leaving SADC. They are self-sustainable now. And SADC is a drag on Angola. So look out for something very big happening. And then Gwen says, sorry, Gwen says it means you two are those who are corrupt. I don't want to answer for myself because let me tell you something about me. I do a lot and I do things in public. So I have to avoid being corrupt. And it costs me a lot. So normally I would be supposed to do something quick. And because I don't want to be corrupt, it costs me a lot. I've gone through so much, losing so many things because I was not corrupt. I was not willing to pay, or I was not willing to take the shortcut. But eventually I'll do well if I'm not corrupt. Now let's look at Mkoma Abel. That's the last question I'm taking. Which part of Mve is good for starting a dead engine? Call me at your age. If you're under 70 and Urukutazamkazi 1, call me. By next year, we're going to have an office. We're going to have a lounge for you guys. I don't know if most of you know what has happened. So over the past 3 months, I think over 300 people have approached us. There's a big demand for someone to help guys to be physically fit. And I'm not saying I'm like 100% physically fit, but I do have a personal trainer. I do have Nganga Yangu, Nganga Sangoma. I do have people who advise me. I even have a medical doctor. And so you need those, and you must also know how to measure your stats. Don't just drink Mve and then not check with what's happening. Is everything changing? So if your 1 liter engine doesn't turn to 3 liter engine within a month, you must ask yourself why. And then you must get that sorted out. So guys, I think I've covered enough here. Let's recap. We said Chamisa has launched a massive charity program. That is an annual program. He has done very, very well. And he has revealed his top team on his timeline. So you can see Professor Gift Mugano here. And you can see Dr. Shumba here. You can also see his wife. But mostly, what Chamisa is going to do is going to be based on pastors. So a lot of different pastors from around the country are going to be assisting Chamisa. You can see it. That Chamisa is saying he's working with the people in the churches. And Professor Gift Mugano unveiling the God is in it cap. And I do not know if this is for today, for that day, or if it was for the future. If the white is not the new color for Nelson Chamisa, I do not know. But Chamisa looking very, very good. You can see that he has lost a lot of weight. He is working out. And when I look at Chamisa, I think he's doing well. And he's going to obviously unveil something. But whatever he's going to unveil, I've said that it's not going to be now. And it's not going to be what you expect. There is a lot that is happening. And also Chamisa is still very popular. But we are going to witness a lot. Not in 2025. Just these next 2 weeks that are coming are going to be the biggest next 2 weeks. And obviously, I'm going to play for you guys, as I promised, a bit of that video once again, so that you can see what I'm talking about. Chamisa leading this like a religious organization. So check him out as I go out.